Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with today a really talented rapper, artist, actor, and he goes by the name of Jihad.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, sure thing. Sorry, I've never done this before. I'm a little nervous. Yeah. So first thing I wanted to do is to introduce like what the podcast is. This is pretty much we're just gonna talk about some current things that you were doing and some upcoming events, and then also talk about some movies that because I know that you're an actor and we've talked about some things. And if I'm correct, you said that you're a Palestinian actor, correct?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty interesting fact to learn. And then let's see. So let's get into the topic. So any new things that you're releasing, such as albums? I know you're working on some projects, I believe, with Dylan.
Yeah.
DJ Dylan.
Yeah. So my first, well, I guess not my first, but my most recent. That's all good, bro. My most recent LP is the Healing, HEALING, like when you get healed from an ailment, and that'll be under my rap name, which is also my first name, my actual name, Jihad, Jihad. Also go by Jihad, the A.
Okay, so I wanted to bring back the subject about because you mentioned some rap, battle rap coming up, and I've seen you win first place in a rap battle before.
Yeah.
How was your feeling about that? Were you?
I mean, it's honestly something I have maybe the least experience with when it comes to the different tools and ways of rapping that MCs have. So I was a little surprised, honestly, that I won, and I felt bad. I just don't like talking bad about people. But it was also really fun, and it kind of showed me that I was capable of more than I thought, I think. And to learn to relax and not worry about rapping your ass off as much as taking your time and actually saying something and trying to be really surgical and specific with what you have to say about someone else. Yeah, and just have fun. I'm just glad I got to participate in the first place.
No, that sounds like an awesome advice, and then an awesome experience. Let's see what I wanted to bring up. So I guess we can talk about movies. I wanted to bring up a movie that you recommended me a while ago, and that was Beau is Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that was definitely an interesting movie.
For sure.
His mom, I don't mind spoiling if you want to spoil it, but about his mom faking her death, throwing a trap house party in his apartment without him invited. And then not only that, but a giant dick monster.
Right. Yeah. The naked guy with a knife, or how trying to get a bottle of water is
Yeah, that was
the most terrifying thing he's ever gone through in his life.
So it was a very intense moment. It was pretty funny though.
Oh yeah. That's I enjoy comedy and find a lot of things funny, but very few things actually make me laugh out loud or laugh hard. And Beau is Afraid did that multiple times. But half the time you're laughing because it's so awkward, and it's just the worst possible thing that could happen does.
It's out
of nowhere. And you're yeah.
It's what the F.
What the F for sure. But it's really entertaining. But I also get it if it's not for you. It's a very particular kind of film. If it's not your cup of tea, if you don't like uncut gems or films that lead with anxiety, then I don't know if it's for you, because it's also long, like we said.
Yeah,
it's 3 hours.
It's very long.
And it goes off in weird tangents, but I like that. If a good filmmaker that's funny and interesting and knows how to make you care about their characters, if they take risks and go far off places you don't expect, I kind of really love that. I just like being surprised by my art, but not just for the sake of it. It's still has to make sense and have all the other things that just a good story would need. But you throw on top of that, just like zag when I think you're gonna zig a couple times. And that film is really good at doing that, for sure.
No, it was good. I felt like it was more like a violent Truman Show.
That's a good way of putting it. A violent Truman Show where maybe Truman isn't being filmed all the time.
Yeah.
And he's just crazy.
He's crazy, and his mom's obsessed with his liability or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then the part about where she's all like, "If you orgasm, you die."
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I was laughing.
Yeah, it's terrifying sexual trauma from a parent. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
What else? Hold on. Sorry, I have more notes that I have on my phone.
No, sure, please.
Yeah. Okay, so what other movies would you also be considered a classic?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a hefty list, but I mean, I'm a little basic where I put like Back to the Future on there, or like so to Reincarnate Desire to go back to the 50s. I'm also a theater kid, so that is a play that was turned into a film. I don't know, other classics. I mean, Fight Club, I guess I'd have to put on there. I'd want to put like Sophie's Choice, Spotlight, Juice, Love and Basketball, New Jack, SETI, Malcolm X. That's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Lawrence of Arabia. Man, I mean, there's just a lot.
Is there one that inspired you particularly to make you join acting?
Yeah, I had joined the acting academy. No, I don't know. I mean, I took acting on a whim in high school for fun, because I went to an arts high school to take photography, but I couldn't take photography till my sophomore year, so I took acting my freshman year because I thought it would be fun, and then I found I was really good at it, and it was I had access to my emotions more than a lot of other people, and then so that's when I started to become obsessed with it. And I mean, I don't know, could I pinpoint? I put to Reincarnate Desire on there for that reason. Like, Marlon Brando was a big deal, and all these other actors that I admired once I started like reading articles and interviews and watching documentaries about the history of theater and film and acting in the U.S. It just kept pointing there, like Robert Duvall, De Niro, Meryl
Duvall.
Yeah, R.I.P. Meryl Streep, Gene Hackman, R.I.P. Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, all the way to Daniel Day-Lewis. They all. Denzel, they all mentioned Marlon Brando, so I was like, okay, I guess I gotta look up this guy. And I watched the one where he yells Stella, because that was like a big deal, so that's where I ended up watching that film.
Is that where the Disaster Artist came from? Where he yells Stella?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him trying to do that, because like that's kind of a synonymous trope with like good acting or good method acting, but it's also just, you know, it's good. Like there's a reason why it's become this like cliche, because the basis of it, like the art where it comes from, is a big deal. Like when they first were doing the play, because the film has almost the exact same cast from Broadway. The lead actress got replaced with a famous English actor who was the lead in Gone with the Wind. Mm-hmm. Which I only saw once a long time ago. That's not necessarily my jam as much, but so for most of this cast, you're watching them do a film version of this script they've done like over 1,000 times, right? Because they were doing it 6-8 times a week for, you know, a year and a half. So to see that, and Vivian Lee still lives up to the rest of the cast. It's not like she seems like she's in another film or something, but to see the level of commitment, or like there's one part where Brando is flinging all these pieces of clothing around, and then he begins talking to the other actor again, and at one point he like picks at a feather that's like floating near his face because he was just throwing this feather boa around. And it's just tiny things like that that is very behavior based, that before that film you wouldn't necessarily see that very often. There were a few actors like Jimmy Cagney or Paul Mooney? No, that's a comedian, but his name is kind of like that. Montgomery Clift is kind of a peer of Brando, but whatever. This was like the white Western pop culture canon of acceptable acting, but it did revolutionize film acting and acting in general, because even when they did the play, it was revolutionary. Nobody was acting like Brando at that level, like in terms of people on Broadway and things like that. Like he wasn't trying to present something to someone, he was just trying to behave.
It sounds like it's just specific details, and then like a lot of hard work with a lot of hours that they worked. And
yeah, and he was naturally talented at that too. About halfway through his career, I'd say he stopped giving as much of a fuck, and like, in the Godfather and things, it's known that like there are pictures from being on set where Robert Duvall is wearing a cue card on his chest with Marlon Brando's lines on it, because they knew it wasn't going to be in the shot. So like that gives Brando, like he did that because he said people don't know what they're going to say in real life, but really it's just being lazy, because a good actor knows their lines but makes it seem as if they don't know what they're going to say. That's kind of half the point.
Being unpredictable.
Yeah. But it doesn't take away from how good he is. Although, there's also, a story passed with that guy, and he sexually assaulted somebody on a film set. So, don't put people on pedestals and whatnot, but that's kind of where it began for me. But then there was like, I was obsessed with all the movies from the 70s, like Dog Day Afternoon with Pacino, The Conversation with Gene Hackman, Raging Bull, which is from 1980, but that one with De Niro, and it just kind of put me down this rabbit hole of different people that I wanted to emulate or see their work be reflected in my work, because they made me feel something, or made me feel like I know that. Like they do something in a scene, some tiny moment or gives somebody a look or says something in a certain way,
So like
you feel like that reflects a moment in your life, and you're like, I've seen people do that up close before. That's what I wanted to do. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's okay. No, I was gonna say, so like I was gonna ask other inspirations. So probably Taxi's got to be one of them with Robert De Niro.
Taxi Driver for sure. Yeah, because there's the show Taxi.
Oh, Taxi.
And then Taxi Driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you know about John Belushi, right?
For sure. Sure.
Yeah, because I know everybody said that he was very unpredictable and.
For sure.
And he was very talented with a lot of the '70s, especially with the Animal House and the Blues Brothers.
Of course, yeah. He was like Seth Rogen is now, kind of like, just think, or like Eddie Murphy in the 80s. By like 1992, Eddie Murphy, right, is like the biggest person on the planet in terms of comedy and stuff. That's where John Belushi was in 1982 or whenever he actually passed. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty amazing. There's this thing of like, you want unpredictability and you want to be able to surprise yourself and the other people you're working with, but you also want to keep it within somewhat of a structure. Like you don't want to hurt people. Right, like when it comes to fight choreography, that's not where you become unpredictable, right? Because then that's how someone gets hurt, because you're doing something they didn't expect you to do. But with that said, if you can find the freedom to really exist and behave and live in between those things that like this has to be this has to be that. Whether it's blocking for film or for stage, or like just trying to map things out.
Knowing what you're doing
and mapping things out as much as you can, so that you can make shit up and be improvisational and surprise yourself and the people around you as much as possible within that framework. Boundaries set you free, right? Like you can't play the game unless there are rules. Then it's not a game. Then it's just you and your friends running around, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why there's laws.
Right, sure, right, yeah, and the grander in life, but yeah. So it's like for me at least, I think that's what is the important thing to do, and what makes someone good and professional in a lot of ways, is maintaining that balance of being hyper prepared, or as prepared as you need to be comfortable, but then like being able to throw all that away on the day when the camera's rolling, or when you're actually doing the play for people who paid for it. Like, let all that go and know that it's there. You've spent the time and the work, you've built the relationships, and now you just need to like forget about all that and pay attention to what's in front of you right now. Because listening that's the whole game. That
sounds like a bit of method acting.
I mean, kind of. I think you can do all that without making people call you by your character's name, or without like doing things to make other people uncomfortable, or without like going home and being like, I'm Abraham Lincoln.
Breaking out a character?
Yeah. I mean, like, when I guess the term method is a really loaded term, right? So it stems from, just to take it all the way back a little bit, there was this actor teacher. The root of all this goes back to a Russian actor who became a teacher in the late 1800s, early 1900s, named Konstantin Stanislavski.
Okay, I've heard that name.
Yeah. That's where the whole thing comes from. So over the course of the first half of the 20th century, like really before World War II. Yeah, so a bunch of different American actors go and train with Stanislavski, between 1890 and 1930 or something. And they all come back, but they all train with him at different times in his process, and trial and error between all these different things that could work for acting. So as they each come back training with him at different points, they begin teaching their own theory of acting, for lack of a better word, their own technique. And they all come out of this American theater from the 20s called the group theater. Like most of the really influential teachers all worked together under the group theater at some point, and did a bunch of plays like during the Great Depression about the working class, even though most of the people involved were pretty privileged in some way, but not all of them. So then out of that you get Stella Adler, you get Lee Strasberg, Sanford Meisner. Those are the three big ones.
And around the time, is that the one where Frankly My Dear I Don't Give a Damn came out?
That's Clark Gable and Gone with the Wind. That would have been
in the 30s, probably.
I believe the 30s.
Okay.
I believe the late 30s.
Okay, never mind. I'm like a decade off.
I mean, that's not that far off, but I mean, it is a thing. Although, like at that point, both Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable, I don't know if they were using any of these techniques, but they were coming up in the New York theater scene, and there were things like the Actors Studio, and that's where Lee Strasberg taught, and that's kind of what we think of as the method. Like, okay, for the next 3 months, you're only going to call me by my character's name, and I'm only going to eat what my character would eat. And like, not only did I create a backstory for the character, but like I'm going home in character, and maybe I'm doing things on set that are endangering other people, or like doing things on set that are making other people uncomfortable, but I don't care because it's going to serve me and how I play the Joker or whatever. That's specifically using a lot of techniques from Lee Strasberg. That's not necessarily what Sanford Meisner taught, or what Stella Adler taught. Stella Adler was much more concerned with building the life of the character, yeah, but you didn't go home being the character or some shit like that. It was more like being really concerned with what you wear, or how the character walks, or like making sure if this is supposed to be your house, make sure you know it really well, like it was your house.
Yeah, character development.
Yeah. Or with Sanford Meisner, you would do exercises like we would just look at each other and repeat the same thing back and forth for like 30 minutes.
Oh, copying. Yeah, okay.
Kind of, but while you're doing that, you're just trying to listen to the other person completely and honestly react to them. So that's why you're repeating the same thing, so you don't even have to worry about what you're going to say. You're just honestly trying to, like, you're wearing blue jeans, I'm wearing blue jeans, you're wearing blue jeans, and then we would just do that over and over and over again until we're not thinking about how we're saying it. I'm saying it based on how you said it to me. And then that's like real listening, where all your focus is really on the other person. Like you do all your character homework and shit. Whatever the character is going to demand of you, make sure you can do it. Go home and work on the accent, work on the walk. If your character has to cook something or ride a horse, make sure you know how to do all that. But once you are here in the scene and on set, your main concern is just totally listening to the other person and getting what, like 90% of what I'm going to do is completely based on what you're about to do. So then it gets the actor out of their head and completely focused on the other person.
Even with the dialogue?
Even with the dialogue. Because you've done those exercises for a really long time, right? While you trained as an actor. So now you're just applying that to like actually doing a scene. And then with Lee Strasberg, he's the one who's like, think of something like this that happened in your life. So when you're doing the scene and you're talking about your mom who died, if your mom actually died in real life, great. Think about that when you're doing the scene. Or like your sister died or your dog died, like the thing that you love the most that you've lost, based on the relationship the character had with that person who passed. Try to go through your life and find a situation, like put that person where that character's mom is, or whatever.
Using the connection to help with the emotion.
Yeah, sense memory, where like now I want you to think about the wallpaper that was on the wall the day your mom died, and the feel of her hand in your hand, and think about the temperature of her hand and what her skin felt like on yours. Think about the temperature in the room when she said her last words. Great. Now when you're in this scene talking about your character's mom dying, try to access those things through your senses rather than just thinking about like, okay, on this date at this time my mom died. I remember that. You're like trying to viscerally take yourself back there. And some people say that's not as effective as like building something completely imaginary from the ground up or whatever. But that kind of mindset is what leads to like, only call me by my character's name, or like, I'm going to do all these other things, or like it becomes a competition of what you've done and how committed you are to do the role. When at the end of the day, it's all about like what serves you. Like Daniel Day-Lewis is a quote-unquote method actor, but he didn't do the same shit that like Jared Leto did, being a method actor playing the Joker. Daniel Day-Lewis never sent anybody something really like as Bill the Butcher. He didn't send Leo DiCaprio like cow testicles or something to be like, that's what Bill the Butcher would do, because he's like trying to connive people. No, he just made everybody call him Bill the Butcher. He only spoke in that voice. He tried to remain in character as much as possible while he was on set.
Buffalo Bill, right?
Bill the Butcher. Buffalo Bill's from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. Bill the Butcher's from Gangs of New York.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, do it. It's good. Yeah, okay. Martin Scorsese directed. Like I don't think it's one of his best films, but a mid Martin Scorsese film is still an amazing film. And the whole cast is good. John C. Reilly, Cameron Diaz, Leo DiCaprio.
Dude, that is a good cast.
But Daniel Day-Lewis is absolutely extraordinary, and he does this amazing thing with his voice, because it's like 1850s to 1860s New York. So it's this very specific like mid-Atlantic thing, because the language is slowly evolving from English or whatever his people's dialect was into this distinctly American New York accent that is still being created. So it's that alone is really cool, but his whole character work is quite something. But and he like made sure when they were doing the scene in the winter that he only wore the coat that the costume department gave him, which was actually the type of fabric and as warm as the coat would be. Whereas everybody else were given these big puffy jackets in between takes and got in front of like heaters on set. Daniel Day-Lewis just chilled with his jacket in the cold.
Sounds tough.
Because that's what his character would do. I think he got he almost got pneumonia or some shit.
Dang.
But, like that, but he's not making it anybody else's problem. I think that's one thing. I think that's why he's the greatest example of a quote-unquote method actor. But I would say, when you say method actor, that's what you mean. But really, he's just doing what he needs to do to believe himself enough when they say action. And that's what he needs to do. Some people are, I would say, just as good or on par with him, and they don't do any of that shit. They say cut and they go back to doing whatever they wanted to do. They would say Brando would talk like just shooting the shit with the crew and the actors as much as possible up until they said action. And then try not to change how he was talking or anything. It's just now I have the accent and I'm in character and I'm saying the lines to try to say that there should be no difference between when you're just actually chilling and talking with people to when you're playing this scene.
That's just his method of getting him in the moment.
Right. And you could do whatever. And I'm not saying Daniel Day-Lewis might be doing that. He's just doing that like, I'm Daniel Plainview. Oh yes, did you see the Lakers last night? Very good game, yes. And then, like, I slapped my boy or whatever it is, right? And it's like, it can be whatever. The real method is whatever you need to do individually as an actor to show up on the day, on the time, being really prepared. And not just knowing your lines, knowing where you have to be with your body, where to stand, but like be in the moment and actually be listening and honestly reacting to what's happening in the room with you and the other actor and the words. Like, that's whatever you need to do that. That's what is actually going to make you want to watch and make you care about those characters, and what's going to allow them to surprise themselves, which will surprise you, right? You're only going to feel whatever they're feeling. So it's, whatever you need to do that. But try not to be a dick. Try not to like hit people when they aren't expecting it. Unless you talked about it beforehand and both of you are okay with it.
No sucker punches.
And even then, I'm not sure if that should be the norm. But at the same time, like I would like to, I was considered the method actor in my class, but a lot of the times it just meant like, I'm going to go into this scene and I'm really tired or really sick, or I just ran. So I'm going to run in the hallway before I go on and actually work up a sweat and actually like need to catch my breath.
Back on the subject about you saying about like make sure you let your coworker know before slapping each other. Mm-hmm. Did you ever see This Is the End? With Seth Rogen? I
did. It's been a while, but yeah.
That scene where Michael Cera slapped Rihanna, he actually got permission. He said, he's like, can I slap your butt? And she's like, if you do, I'm going to slap you back. And so he did it.
Yeah. And then it works. It works.
It worked.
Yeah.
It was a memorable scene. I remember it.
For sure. And that's fine. That's called fight choreography, which is fine. That's how you plan something out and do it and not harm other people. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But that's my whole spiel about method acting. That's my actor training. I get to show off a thing. I paid a lot of money for it, but most people don't ask me about that. So that's my little bit of theater acting.
You're talking about paying for the SAG-AFTRA?
Or, my college degree. I have a BFA in acting, and I have a lot of college debt due to that. But that's like acting history, theater history. But that was part of what I began to learn about when I fell down the hole in high school and chose to make this my life. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's one heck of a journey, just life in general. So.
For sure, life is a journey no matter what you do, man. Actors don't have a monopoly on adventure. That's for sure.
Okay. On to the next question is okay, so, worst movies you've seen. It can be so bad that they are great or so bad that they suck, and why is the reason they are so bad?
Okay. Worst movie I've seen, best movie I've seen. Oh man, why is okay?
Like it can be so bad it's good, or so bad that it's just terrible, and like you don't recommend watching.
Yeah. Oh man.
And if it's complicated, we can move on to the next question. No worries.
Oh no. I mean, I guess I'm somewhat of a forgiving. But I mean, I don't know what's something that just really sucks. It's been a long time. Because I try to avoid them, or like I don't get very far into them if they just suck so bad. But something that's so bad it's good. I mean, there's The Room, of course.
The Room is hilarious.
That is that's in the pantheon. Like it's so bad I don't even. My friends would play it in college, and it's one that's really great to make fun of. I will say, Cursed. I saw that with my friends in high school. I think we were the only ones in the movie theater, or there were only 2 more people, and it was so bad. It's actually a Wes Craven film.
Oh wow!
And he makes a lot of good ones, but this was a Wes Craven werewolf movie with Christina Ricci.
Is Christina Ricci?
Ricci.
Oh,
yeah.
Ricci.
Yeah. From like 2005, 2004.
Oh.
And it was so bad that like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes into it, we began making fun of it. And like by the end, we were just having full-on conversations being like, what the fuck is this? There's one point where a werewolf like flicks someone off. And yeah, that was one that was so, I barely remember the movie, but we had such a good time making fun of it the whole time.
I'm gonna have to watch that one now.
Yeah. That was pretty solid. I mean, once past that, it's not as bad, but where it's just clearly a play being filmed, and like the first Dracula with Christopher Lee, it's from like 1964 or something, and there are times where people will stop talking, and then they'll leave. One of them will leave the room, and then the camera will just remain on the other person, like packing for a while.
Oh wow.
For like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then it's like a slow fade to the next thing, which is again like somebody just arriving somewhere. And it's just so interesting. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just
sounds like dad time.
Well, it's just shows how different
eras
sensibilities are too. Like what people would consider slow or fast. I mean, I bet even the kids from back then might have thought, yeah, I just think that was the norm. And just as time has gone on, the amount of cuts in a 30-second piece of film or TV has increased so much from what it was, in the 50s at the dawn of television, or, the freaking 1890s, or whenever film began getting made. Watch a silent movie, like watch the original Nosferatu sometime or something.
I think I saw that was free on YouTube.
Yeah. You can even like throw it in the background while you do other shit and just look at it, and it can be pretty effective, but notice how much or little it cuts. And some things even before the 1960s would have been cut better than that Christopher Lee film I just referenced, but it's just interesting to think about what the norms of media might be in 30 years, 50 years compared to now.
Yeah, our era will change. Things will definitely be outdated. So yeah, no, definitely future will be interesting. I don't know if I'm excited for it because I know one thing for sure is the economy's not going to get better. I don't think it is.
I mean, I think at times of hardship, it might make creative outlets. It might be better for creativity, like the 1970s, some of the best time for independent film and for rock music and the birth of hip hop and all these really amazing things. The 1970s, a lot of that decade, the economy wasn't doing great. That was the beginning of jobs, of manufacturing jobs leaving the country. There was major inflation. Watergate happened during that time. The FBI and the CIA were breaking down all the movements for revolution that were building steam and hope in the 1960s.
I know in the 70s they had the gas prices, the gas thing.
Yeah, that was in the late 1970s. That was a big reason Jimmy Carter lost to Ronald Reagan. But yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But I'm just saying, like, art is always made no matter what, and sometimes crazy conditions like that might foster more art, or at least more low-budget, independent art, which I think is what we need if we want a healthy art environment. And I think over time, people will be more interested in, first off, real art that isn't written by AI or has AI actors, and also art that is willing to take risks and are new ideas and aren't like the 15th film from the same IP from 1985. And like things that actually reflect our day-to-day lives. And if more people are in, disparate, desperate situations because of a bad economy, more people are going to be like, where are the films about poor people? Where are the films about people getting evicted? Where are the films about people struggling paycheck to paycheck? Where are the comedies about, two people under 50 who are just trying to get by and get high and like avoid paying their parking tickets or like some shit? Where's the hood stuff? Because that's going to be more and more people's lives. And less people will be interested in like, yeah, it's a good plot, but like all of their basic needs are met. So it's just like them in this really nice house or this really nice apartment in New York and LA that a person working their job would never actually be able to afford. Because that way the people writing the film or whatever don't have to also be like, they're dealing with this and they have to pay their rent.
It's just relatable, it'll catch your eye.
Right, but like that's why everybody loves Spider-Man. Because he still has to be a superhero and get the girl and save the world, but he also has to deal with like a boss who's trying to take advantage of him and an older family member who always needs help financially, and the fact that he might get evicted. Like you can do both, and it'll only make the film better if you know how to do it. So yeah, I think you're right. Like the big movies will be made less, and there'll be less of them, and less companies existing in general. But it doesn't mean that more people can't make scrappy, interesting, worthwhile films and short films, web series with what they have. And it won't, with the technology we have now and the talent that will be out of work. I think there'll be a lot of people who are willing to just make good work and try to sell it directly to the audience. That's also another thing that we've never had before with this type of technology, where you can do a Bandcamp, you can do a GoFundMe, you can do a Patreon, and there's no middleman. It's just you and the people you're trying to sell your art to. So with all that, I'm choosing to be hopeful, because I know at the end of the day, I will do it myself if I have to get the opportunities that I want.
I respect that.
Thanks, bro. I feel like I'm just talking forever.
No, I'm paying attention. I believe I'm listening, paying attention. So like I'm just trying to get what you're saying, making sure I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What's one of the worst films you've ever seen?
What's worst film I've seen that's so bad and so good? I didn't think about this. So bad, so good. What movie did I think about that? I don't know. Dang, that is a hard question. I know how you feel being put on the line.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, so bad.
Give you a taste of your own medicine, man.
So bad, so good. I'll give you one movie I thought was so bad, but I guess it was so good. Jurassic World.
Ooh.
I walked down on that movie.
Oh, did you see it in right.
Was it Dominion?
I think I only saw the first of the
first Jurassic World?
The first of the Jurassic Worlds.
You're lucky. That was the only good one. Well,
yeah.
besides the new one that came out with Scarlett Johansson, that one's actually pretty good.
Well, that's a whole new revamp. They're gonna make a whole new trilogy out of that, I'm sure.
Well, I would like it if they go that way because the one with Chris. What's her name? Kate Beck. Was it Kate?
No, it's Ron Howard's kid.
Yeah, Ron Howard's daughter, the redhead. What's her name?
Yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
She was in The Village. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? Jurassic Dominion, and then Jurassic World. I forgot the second one, but those ones were just terrible.
Yeah, I heard, and the first one wasn't awful. It just wasn't. No. It just felt unnecessary.
It wasn't. It was definitely not like. The first two that were made. The third one was okay, but I felt like this first and second one really caught my eye. Mm-hmm. The original Jurassic Park movies. I don't know what your opinions are on those, if I may ask.
Oh, I mean, the first one is pretty perfect. It's, it's like Jaws. It's like, it's like any the Steven Spielberg classic. For me, it's just a well-made movie. It just all works, and is put together well, kind of like Back to the Future or there's just a really nice feeling when you're watching a movie that is really well made, and for me I get that feeling watching that first film.
You would say the first one's your most favorite one?
For sure.
Definitely. Mine would be the second, if I had to be honest, because the T-Rex was put in the city.
Yeah, and that is so the deal good. I think all of the first three are good films.
Yeah,
and they're all different, like vastly different movies, which are interesting. I think of the first three, the second might be the least good.
Okay,
but they're all still good.
Not judging.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say another thing about Jurassic Park that I liked, about the third one that really kept in my head though, was when they had to dig for the cell phone and the crab. That scene, I was like, oh, that sucks. But all right.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But no, there is definitely memorable scenes. I don't know, but I definitely prefer the original Jurassic Park than the Jurassic World. It's definitely.
Yeah. I mean, God bless them. Make the dinos move.
All right. So any upcoming movies that you're excited to see, or movies you haven't seen and want to watch?
Sure. Well, Summerween, the one I shot a month and a half ago in Las Cruces. It's going to be a micro-budget horror movie.
That's cool.
I'm a cop, and I try to catch a killer clown, so that's fun. So just to be biased against myself, I'm excited to see that and get some of that footage.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, like a movie for myself, Nolan's Odyssey is something I'm excited for.
Is that the one with Matt Damon?
Yeah. There's a movie with Sterling K. Brown as a supporting character, but he's like the bad guy, and it's made by a bunch of people I don't know very well, but that one looks good. I need to look up the name of it. What's something else? Man of Tomorrow. I really liked Superman, so I'm pretty excited for the second one.
It's with his was there his cousin? It's his cousin, right?
Well, that's Supergirl. That's gonna come out in like a month or two. But then Man of Tomorrow will be Superman 2.
Oh, okay.
So Supergirl is a spin-off of Superman, whereas Man of Tomorrow is a direct sequel to Superman. And I mean, because of Guy Dance and the Ellisons buying Warner Brothers, it might be James Gunn's last film there, maybe, depending on how it shakes up. Sure. And if James Gunn wants to hang around, because James Gunn is pretty anti-fash, and so Guy Dance is pretty conservative coded, so that might affect like what they are willing to allow James Gunn to communicate in his films. And James Gunn is so powerful, he might just be like, okay, I'll go back to Marvel. Like, a bunch of different people will want my work. Like, because everything he makes is a success. It all makes money, and people like it. And just put a cute animal in danger, and people love that shit. And it works, and he does it well. Cultural references, needle drops, and like good character arcs. You know, I always care about his characters, and I'm entertained, which is nice. But okay, sorry, I'm gonna try to look up what this one is.
Just take your time.
What this new one is. Upcoming, that's it. Is God Is. That's it. Is God Is.
Okay.
It's coming out soon. That's coming out in May. Yeah. That one was one. What else? The new Brad Pitt movie, where it's following his character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I think David Fincher is directing it.
Not Quentin Tarantino?
No.
Oh.
This is a...
it's a sequel, though.
I mean, a spin-off.
Oh, it's a spin-off.
Really, I guess, technically, because it's not like following him and DiCaprio in the next part of their journey. It's just him, but it's set after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's in the 70s. And anything Fincher does, I'd be in, and like Brad Pitt and David Fincher have a pretty good batting average together, so that makes me want to watch that. Maybe Fincher's only producing it, but I feel like he's directing it. I don't know what else. There's a lot of shit, man. Yeah, I don't know. My Adventures with Superman. I'm pretty excited for that next season coming up, whenever that'll be. There's a Martin Scorsese, Jennifer Lawrence, DiCaprio movie, which I'm excited about. Excited to see what that is. There's a great slew of Paulus Dinian films that have come out in the last 6 months to a year. One of them got nominated for an Academy Award. The Voice of Henry Job, Palestine 36, and All That's Left of You. All three of those films are... I've seen two of those three, and they're great. Palestine 36 and All That's Left of You. And The Voice of Henry Job got nominated for the Academy Award for foreign film. I think it was Jordan's Submission, maybe. But I would recommend all of those movies. They're all on Watermelon Plus. That's like $8 a month, and I think it's really worth it. But also you can try to find them in movie theaters. I saw Palestine 36 and All That's Left of You at the Guild. Yeah, try to go to the Guild if you can. If you're here in Albuquerque, go to your local art house cinema. If there's a little theater that only has one or two screens and shows like independent film and local film and foreign film, go there. Try to keep that thing alive. Try to support a film that wasn't made for very much but has really good word of mouth. Only go to something you are pumped about or you think you'll enjoy. But, just go to the Guild's website and see what's playing this month. Go and support your local art house. Find the local cinema that plays foreign movies and independent films and local films. Like here in Albuquerque, there's the Guild that also houses the Albuquerque Film Festival. And shows local films and films from around the world. And I think those are the cinemas. Those are the movie theaters we need the most. It's just like trying to support local bookshops and comic shops and, God forbid, a physical media place that still sells records and Blu-rays and such. But just try to go and support those guys. Look up the Guild's website, and if there's a movie that's playing that month that you like, just try to go to one of them. It's like $10, and then that'll help us all support the hopefully new burgeoning independent film market that's gonna come up from this vacuum of work where like people will be hungry for real work that isn't Transformers 18. Not saying those movies aren't good, a bunch of them are, but it's like it's the same thing that happened in the 70s where people wanted work for them by them, where they wanted work by younger people from a working class background who could speak to what was going on in the culture at the time. And I think the current studio system doesn't really foster that or is interested in that. But if you go to the local cinemas all the time, then you'll know when a movie like Nirvana, the band, the book, the movie, I think that's the title, is like hitting the circuit and getting really good vibes and people saying it's a great film, and they made that for like $100,000. Wow. I think it was in Canada, but that movie has made all its money back because it got good word of mouth and it's toured the country, playing in small places like the Guild all over the country.
Yeah, it was just in theaters actually.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the future of theater. And if nothing else, you'll get to see a movie you love in a movie theater that you've never seen before because they're playing Ghostbusters or something. Or like you'll watch a foreign film, take somebody you're trying to impress or seduce to like a foreign movie and be like, oh look, I'm so cultured, and hopefully the movie's good, and then you're both to leave and have something to talk about, and you can feel a little more
inspired
and aware of the world, Yeah.
All right. Well,
check out City of God. That's a great.
Oh, that's a crazy
film.
Crazy gang movie.
Yeah. The Killer by John Woo. Any Jackie Chan film from the 80s or 70s. I would say Blue is the Warmest Color is a really beautiful and dark film. Javier Bardem, a lot of his work from Spain, The Sea Inside. It's really, really beautiful. He's really good in that. Life is Beautiful. It's super cheesy, kind of, but also really beautiful, really good. Paradise Now is another good Palestinian film. There's one that my friend Corey Michael Smith is in, who's just an amazing person and really great artist. And it just was in all this stuff, and I can't remember now. Sentimental Value. That was also a big deal, and it's kind of a foreign film. It's almost half in English and half in I forget which Scandinavian country, wherever the guards are from. But that was a really good one. Hamnet isn't necessarily a foreign film, but that movie was really beautiful too. You should check out a lot of Korean cinema too, like Parasite or
That's a good one.
Burning. Kurosawa, like older Japanese film. He made The Seven Samurai and Ran, and there's Rashomon. I don't know if Kurosawa did that or not, but that's also another great one. The Battle of Algiers is more of a documentary, really, but that's in French and Arabic, and about the uprisings in Morocco against French colonialism. Yeah, man, there's just a lot of great movies out there. Yeah, long answers, long-winded answers.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much how I like it, or how it should be. So, Benno, thank you for your time, and for coming over and doing this. It just means a lot. So appreciate it, Jihad.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say, because you pretty much answered my foreign movies question on which ones to see. So I guess we can end it here. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah. Films are empathy machines, and allow them to change you and inform you and make you more curious. Look for films that make you want to talk about them afterwards, and challenge not who you are, but challenge how you view the world. And also find the ones that make you laugh really hard. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's how we the end of the first podcast. Hope y'all enjoy. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace and love, y'all.